My name is Ania. I'm from Poland. I live in Berlin since 17 years. And I'm an architect, artist, editor and activist, which is a new thing because I started to be an activist maybe 5 years ago. 5 years ago. And I founded a group called Dziewuchy Berlin. Dziewuchy means girls, medals in German, or gals in English. And we are a German or Berlin branch of a very huge movement that was started in 2016 in Poland. It was called Dziewuchy Dziewuchom, which means girls for girls. And it was a spontaneous, huge movement with thousands of people. And it was developed back then when Polish government wanted to ban abortion, 2016. And of course, when you have such big movements, immediately local groups are being formed. And actually I formed the Berlin group on the April 2nd, 2016. What does it mean to form a group? I opened a Facebook group, and that's how we started. Because Polish activism is very much based in real life, but also in social media, like Facebook. So you have these two worlds where we act. And so since 2016, I'm in this group, running it or being part of it. And we stand in solidarity with Polish women in Berlin, and also we stand in solidarity with women in Germany. Not only Polish women, but in general in Germany and other countries whenever it's needed. Because women suffer all over the world, and we do not look only at our national cause, which we do as well, but not only. So that's my free time activist activities apart from work and kid and family and
And what do you think? I mean, I got informed about the feminist movement in Poland during the Black protest, and I think as many people outside of Poland didn't really know the context did. And I wonder how did the situation look like before that? Was it like actually the moment when a lot of organizing began, or it was just, I don't know, not that visible before because it was more local, small groups? Maybe it's, I don't know, maybe it's the global Me Too thing as well.
Well, of course, there was a huge feminist movement in Poland before 2016, but that's a different history. What I think it's important maybe now in our conversation is exactly what happened when the Conservative Party PiS, Law and Justice in English, when they came to power in 2015. Few months later, in April, as I mentioned, they started talking about banning abortion completely. And it was April, and that's where people got really angry. That's when the Dziewuchy Dziewuchom movement started, and it was really huge. People were making actions as well. There were many things happening. There were protests in April. There was so much energy. People did different actions, like we were sending messages, for example, to the Beata Szydło. She was a politician. I don't remember which function she had, but premier minister, maybe, I don't remember. And we were sending her emails and messages on her Facebook, because if she was the person who wanted to decide about our bodies, abortion, which is like deciding about somebody else's body, then we thought, well, why don't we share our private life with her? And we were writing her emails and messages about our periods and our intimate situation, our sex life, because we thought, oh, it's your part of it, this is what you do, then okay, then we can share it with you. You know, about masturbation and all of it. That's what people were doing, me too, actually. And there were some actions in Poland when people sent hangers to the parliament, like per post. People were hanging also these hangers as a symbol of underground abortion. So there were many different actions. But what was important was that it was a massive movement connected to social media. And there were many celebrities, people from all over the world who were sending support. And I call it a critical mass, but what I mean is that these emotions were being built up you know, people were really angry, and there was this energy. And of course, when such smaller groups, local groups, were developed, like in Berlin, in every city in Poland, not every, but many cities in Poland, in different parts of the world. And then it was summer, and then everything, you know, summer, nothing really happened. And then it started in September again, because after summer holidays, there was this horrible situation that, okay, to make the story short, but in Poland there's a possibility, if you are a civic society group and if you write a draft of a bill and you have enough hundreds of thousands of signatures under it, you deliver it to the parliament. They have the obligation to read it loud, well, to read it and say yes, we vote for it, or no, we throw it out, but they have to read it. So there were actually two projects like this. One was made by anti-choice group, people who, the name of the woman is Kaja Godek. She has this foundation who is really anti-choice, and she wrote such a bill, and she managed to get enough signatures, and this bill was really, it banned abortion completely, because in Poland at the moment you can have abortion legally only in 3 cases. Yeah, when the life of the mother is threatened, when the fetus is very terminally ill, or when it comes from rape or incest. The classic 3 cases. Yeah, in Germany it's similar, but in Germany it's a little bit different, a little bit. However, we have these 3 cases. And that woman, Kaja Godek, wanted to ban all of it. She wanted to make abortion totally illegal. And then we had another bill written by Democrats, by feminist movements and groups, and it was of course liberalizing bill that abortion should be legal and normal, and yeah. So we had these 2 bills, and they both managed to get enough signatures. Both went to the parliament in September. And everybody got crazy because we thought, what will happen? You know, in the parliament, people were watching closely, and end of September, I think it was the September 20th or 21st, 23rd, that the first demonstration started. There was also a huge viral action called Black Protest. And it was, at the beginning, it was actually a viral social media action developed by unfortunately, I don't remember the name, by a woman from the political party Razem, which means together, left party. She had this idea and it just clicked. You know how things click sometimes, and she had, let's make a black protest. And the idea was, you wear black and take a picture with a piece of paper saying, I support black protest, something, and it went really viral. Everybody did it, even some actresses from the world, big stars from Hollywood, many people did it. And it also built this critical mass of emotion and anger. And then we had these 2 bills in the parliament, first demonstrations in big cities in Poland. And then it came, the parliament situation. They took our bill, the liberalizing bill, and they just didn't even read it. They threw it immediately away. That's when people got really angry. And that's how it came out of this anger, that the Black Protest Black Protest was a week-long event actually, but the women's strike on October 3rd was a result of the situation that our bill was thrown to the garbage, and the bad bill, the bill which wanted to ban abortion, went further into a different commission. So it was being voted forward to be further in the parliament and to be decided, and our bill was like, no, we don't like it. And then everybody thought, no, we have to do something really, really big. And the good part of it is that even if you live abroad, like me in Berlin, you are connected on Facebook and social media. So I was also in the group where people were preparing the women's strike on October 3rd. And I remember this very well. And and then people were thinking, when should we do it? Should we do it on Sunday, on Monday? And we thought, yeah, well, if it's a strike, a real one, then it should be on a weekday, so Monday. And I remember thinking, oh, well, in Germany it's the day of the unification, so it's a day off, but still we do it as well, fine, no problem. Nobody will strike because it's a day off, but at least we'll go out on the street, makes sense, in solidarity. So it was amazing because you see what happened on October 3rd, the Polish women's strike, was actually really a strike. Many women didn't go to work, some cafes closed, some other places closed, some professors said, okay, you don't have to come to the university, go, or female professors didn't show up at school, or if you could not really go out from your work, it was enough for people to dress black, also out of solidarity, so everybody wore black, and it was an amazing feeling. I still have Gänsehaut. Yes, it was really big, and it was organized in, I think, 90 cities, big, small, it didn't matter. Everybody went on the streets, striking, not going to work, but also demonstrating. There were many different demonstrations, thousands of people, and we did that in Berlin too, because we thought, well, yeah, this huge energy was actually pushing us. You could feel that energy coming from Poland, even through your computer screen from Facebook, but you could feel how it's vibrating, the energy, and said, we do it too, of course, in Berlin. And spontaneously, we were like 3 of us or 4, and we thought, okay, let's do it. But I'll talk about it later. So what I'm saying is that it was a process. Coming to this huge demo on October 3rd was a process, I think, of building energy and building this critical mass and anger. So on that October 3rd, everybody went on the streets. It didn't happen just like this. It was being built up, and then. And what happened in Poland? Of course, Kaczynski and his party, they got a little bit scared. They said, oh, so many people came, like you cannot really, don't make women angry because we will go to the streets, and we know it. So then they took the bad bill and they said, well, okay, so maybe we will not really do it. We'll just put it away. And then we thought we won. That we won just a battle. Well, not just. We won a battle, but the war is still not over, and even until today, it's 4 years later.
I have heard that there is now, abortion is not fully legal, it's illegal basically. There is some kind of connections between Germany and Poland where women help women from Poland do abortions here. I don't know how it works.
Okay, yes, it's true. This network called Ciocia Basia, Tante Barbara, it's nothing new. It exists in some years, and it is actually a network of volunteers and activists who help women from Poland, not only from Poland, but usually from Poland, to come to Germany, not only to Berlin, but to Germany, and have a safe and free abortion. And they support, they make all the phone calls, they arrange the termine, where should you go, they even come with you. I know because one of our group members is doing it also, she's doing it, and she tells me stories, and I know how hard it is, and it's not an easy job or easy task to do, not everybody can do it, but she's doing it. She's helping really in a very practical way. So basically what happens is that women from Poland, they can call, make a phone call, and then they will be contacted and everything will be arranged. They just have to come and they will be taken care of. Yeah? They got support from an English organization, and this network grew. And Ciocia Basia, the one from Germany, is one of the members in an alliance which is going through Poland, Germany, England, and it's now bigger. And it's going more smoothly, and there is much more support. So it's going even better.
Coming from an academic also perspective a little bit on Eastern European feminism, I know that there is a lot of things written on a certain gap that exists also in the, for example, in Russian feminism it's really vital, this thought that in the West feminism is something that is big and already the fourth wave is there, and we in Russia are like not so well organized and the society is not developed enough, and this idea also kind of circulates around, I think, I don't know, German circles probably, but there is some other places, and for example Eastern Europe, where I don't know, the society is not ready, or like feminism is not well enough or something like that. And I don't know if you have felt this being from Poland here, or how do you treat this?
Well, to be honest, I did not hear too much about Russian feminism, only whenever I read something. I'm sorry, I did not hear too much. Maybe I understand what you're saying, that maybe people in the West, they don't know much about what happens in the East. I also come from the East, so I'm one of those unknown persons that nobody knows. What are we doing behind the eastern border? Fine. But I think, but you see, no, well, maybe that's what people in Germany think about us in the East, but then it means they don't know much, because we are not like this. I mean, there are many things happening. Even in Russia you had Pussy Riot, nobody else had it. I'm sorry, I know it's the most common name, most popular name I know, but still, nobody else had it. And I think we from the Eastern Europe, we should stop thinking what do they think about us. That's number one, and we should stop thinking that we might be worse or something because we come from the East. No. Both East and West, we have our strengths and we have our weaknesses. Everybody has them. Even in the West you can have weaknesses or maybe failures, or not everything is going perfectly. We are not worse, we are just different, and maybe nobody knows about us in the East. But who cares? Now they will know. Maybe, you know. I never heard about any opinion about both. About Polish, about Polish feminism. Yeah, well, we talked about it because we talk about Polish feminism, obviously, because that's what we represent. So this is usually the subject for the discussions. But I think, no, we should not think about ourselves as about something less developed, ever. Ever. Because we are not.
And in your organizing in Berlin, you have already said a little bit about that you try also to do actions which are not really, not always going back to the Polish context, but kind of bringing people together, maybe different people also with migration backgrounds and just feminist groups all over Berlin. And yeah, maybe you could tell something about that.
When we started in 2016, we were these Polish women standing on the streets asking Berlin for support and solidarity, asking the world, oh world, please be in solidarity with Polish women. Okay, that was also the situation, obviously, makes sense, totally. It was 4 years ago. But in the meantime, as we were more active in different networks in Berlin, and there are many feminist networks, we got engaged in many different groups because, I don't know, it just went. We are part of the Bündnis für sexuelle Selbstbestimmung. We are part of the Frauenstreik. It's a new, relatively new initiative. We were also in contact with International Women's Space, Frauenkampftag, so all these major groups. And that's where, as we got involved, we got obviously involved in solidarity actions with different groups here, because obviously that's what you do, not only German ones but also foreign ones, migrant ones. But it's also important that we thought, well, not only we live in Berlin, so we should be aware what is happening here, and if we fight for women's rights in Germany, we fight also for our rights. So it makes sense that we are engaged here. and we also try to sometimes to ask Polish women for support when there was there were some actions 2 years ago, 2 years ago, when we were fighting against the paragraph 218 and 19A in Germany, because they should be wiped out from the codex. We asked also Polish women for support, because we thought, okay, this time maybe it could be the opposite way. If women in Germany are fighting for something.
What is this paragraph? Yeah.
So in Germany, actually, abortion is also not really. Well, it's in a German Strafkodex, which in English means it's a codex penalty. Yes, penalty code. Unless, then again, you have 3 cases. When the life of a woman is in danger, when the fetus is ill, or if you go to a talk with a specialist 3 days before. And it's an obligation, and in this talk you tell you want to have an abortion, and some of them will try to talk you out, some will say okay, some will say aha, who, and then you get the paper. So that's the third rule. So it's actually, if you really think about it, it's also not so perfect as one would think. That's number 1. Number 2, another paragraph says that you, as a doctor, as a gynecologist, you are not allowed to inform about the methods of abortions if you offer it. So you cannot really say about it. There was a case of some women, female doctors, who got a huge fine from the court for just saying on their website what methods they use for abortion, that it's pills or something, one word, one sentence, and they got like thousands of euros fine. It was last year. So, and there was a huge discussion about it in Bundestag. We were part of it as well in Bundestag. A friend of woman from our group was there as well. She got a fine because they went to a hearing in Bundestag to listen about the new, because it was being discussed, that paragraph, and people from Bündnis für sexuelle Selbstbestimmung and our member, they had t-shirts with some signs, and they just stood out and they showed the t-shirts, and all of them, they got fined. I don't know if they paid it in the end, but by an AfD politician, he got really angry. Germany, it's still not as bad as in Poland, but you could see that there are also people who are fanatic and who are anti-choice, who are right-wing, who are populists and conservatives. They are there, not only in Nazi parties like NPD, but also in AfD. It's the same way of thinking, but it seems in different countries you have the same people with the same ways of thinking. That's why, if they connect often, yeah. That's why we also try to connect the other side. We, the pro-choice people, we stay in touch. We are networking because we know that people who we fight against are also in different countries, and they are very well connected. So they are our so we have to stay together in solidarity. So we cannot allow ourselves only to look at Poland, because it's not enough. Because also, if you look what happens now in Poland, there is this organization called Ordo Iuris in Poland, and it's ultra-Catholic, very conservative. There are many lawyers in it, and they have influence in highest ministries. Members of these organizations hold high positions, and they also have a lot of connections in the European, in the EU, in Brussels. They wrote a program for Europe called Agenda Europe, and it's all based on conservative Christian beliefs and totally anti-choice, totally anti-LGBT, and so it's something more than just one country. And this organization, it's like a daughter organization of one Brazilian sect, something for family totally fanatic, and it's even, I think the Brazilian sect is banned. I think they should be cancelled, but they are still there. So you have connections all over, and if you dig a little bit deeply, you see that the conservatives from Poland, they are connected also to people in Hungary, Orban, and also to Putin, and it's a strange mix. The world is really dividing, and it's not really important if you live in Poland or you are from Poland or from Germany. We have to see it a little bit bigger and see where are they and what can we actually do. What can we do that it will make sense, it will be efficient, and that we will not only defend our values of freedom and democracy and tolerance, and real love, and we should protect ourselves, but we should also slowly start to push them away. It's the next step, because at the moment in Poland you cannot do anything. Everything is being controlled by PiS, which is the bad guys. There's nothing really you can do, and it's on many levels, from the president, courts, media, nationalist media, I mean, ministries, like national companies, it's all taken by them. What can you do? I mean, even that's why we were also in Berlin, we were organizing demonstrations in support and in solidarity with Polish courts. We were fighting for the courts to be free, because they are not. So also maybe it's not only a feminist, it's not really strictly a feminist subject, but we all know that it's connected. All these things are connected. So I think today, being a feminist, it's not only talking about women's rights, but you have to look further. You have to stand for free courts, free media, because if the anti-choice people or anti-women people control all of it, there's nothing you can do. So you have to think maybe different strategies. How can you fight with these conservatives? Definitely look further. Definitely look beyond borders. That's why when we cooperate or we stand in solidarity with women in Germany, or I don't know where in other countries, it's because of that. We have to stand globally together. Women or Democrats, you name it, but women as well, of course.
Yeah, maybe you've said already a lot about that, but we have our standard questions. If a radical feminist, a queer feminist utopia would be in place, what would necessarily be there for you? Like, what is important?
In a utopia. A utopia, feminist utopia. Wonderful question. Okay, it will be very maybe classic or maybe banal, but I think that it's time for women to take over and rule the world, because it will be interesting to see how they manage, and I kind of think it would be better, because in countries where women are on the power, of course you can always have examples where it's not really working so well, but in countries where women are on the power, it seems things are running more smoothly and there's more empathy, and it's more sustainability and efficiency. And I would love to try and see how is the world being run by women, ruled by women. That's number one. Number two, my utopia is that we have to catch up, we women. We have to catch up these 2,000 years of male solidarity and male dominance. We should get in solidarity too, we have to catch up, even with education. It's only, 100 years that we can go to the university. It's only 100 years that we can vote. There are centuries to catch up, like with decisions, with us, with women being in different positions in the world, in the business, in politics. So there's a lot to do, and I wish there will be more women. My wish is, it's actually maybe utopian too, but I wish more women would like to go to politics, and that they would not say, it's not for me, I stay home, whatever. No. Why not? Do it. Why not? Nobody can tell you no. I mean, why not? Men would never hesitate. That's another point. And another point is my dream for a utopia is, now I forgot, but there was one. Aha. Okay, it's another utopia. What is happening? I'm in the well, I'm a little bit over 40 years old, and as many of my friends, I'm now single since few months. I have a child, yeah, and I'm supporting myself and the child, working and doing art and doing everything and taking care. Well, it's a new situation, but there are many women like me. We are single often, we have kids or no, it doesn't matter, we have careers, work, passion in my age. And well, I will not talk about why are we single, that's not the point, but we are many. Maybe we have boyfriends or husbands, okay, wait, maybe yeah, who cares? But it seems that for women of my age, some of my friends, they have good positions, some of them have good careers, and I see that there's a potential. And the idea is that we are many. It means we could have power, and we should really network, and we should see what happens with our potential. Because we are so many and we are so good at many things, we just don't know about it. Maybe if I'm not saying it's a wish, it's not a wish, but it's reality that so many women are actually without husbands, and well, husbands left or they left, you know, single women. Maybe at some point social structures will change, and maybe we will not really long for marriages with men who are violent, in different ways violent, but we will, or maybe there are no other men around, I don't know, maybe I will find a boyfriend one day, maybe not. If not, I will not cry about it. But then I have good friends, and I know I can count on my female friends, and we can really do a lot of things together. Serious things. We fight together, we do things together, we build together. That energy, that potential, maybe something more will come from my generation of all these women, because we are in the middle of our lives, we are in the best age. 40 something. So my wish is that we could recognize our power, and we could be friends and support each other, because sometimes it's difficult, but we could actually achieve so much as a social group of younger, older women. But it seems there is something in it. We have to just recognize that potential. I really think